How many times have you had the impression that someone has entered your life to destroy your dreams and goals? Often, unfortunately, we have to deal daily with the presence of individuals who want to harm us for the most diverse reasons: personal grudges, frustration, envy. Thanks to the Zen story, you will discover how to recognize the signs that someone wants to destroy you. Plus, if you stay until the end, you'll also know how to behave to prevent this from happening. But before continuing, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share the video. Thanks to these small gestures, you will help us produce new content every day for your spiritual growth. Today, we will discuss a crucial topic. The monk said in a calm but penetrating voice. We will talk about the 8 signs that can clearly reveal who of those who enter our lives may want to destroy us. One of the disciples, Kaori, eager to know more, asked, Master Eisèn, what are these signs? How can we protect ourselves from those who intend to harm us? Eisèn nodded, and to give the first signal to pay attention to, began to tell an old anecdote. Once upon a time, here in the monastery village, there was a wise man who possessed a precious gem. One day, a cunning man approached him, praised his wisdom, and asked him to admire the gem. When the disciples began to reflect on the times someone had tried to manipulate them, Eisen told another story to illustrate the second sign: destructive criticism. Imagine a flower garden, he began, and let's imagine that the plants, instead of receiving food and love, were constantly trampled by someone. Although initially it seemed like a small gesture, over time, the garden began to dry out, and the plants withered one after another. Constant criticism is like heavy steps that trample on our self-esteem, Eisen stressed. Those who wish to destroy us will use derogatory words and constant judgment to wither our spirit. We must learn to distinguish between constructive criticism, which is welcome because it helps us grow, and destructive criticism, which has the sole purpose of undermining our confidence. With a smile, Eisen presented the third sign: social isolation. In a small town, he said, there was a fisherman loved by everyone for his character and his help. One day, an envious individual began to sow discord by creating false stories about him. Little by little, the fisherman found himself isolated. Many friends abandoned him, and the town ended up ignoring him. His life, in a few months, changed radically because, in addition to finding himself alone, he lost many clients and his business went into crisis. Isolating someone is like cutting the roots of a tree. Eisèn explained. Those who want to destroy us will try to separate us from others, creating divisions and sowing suspicion. And to prevent this from happening, we must cultivate strong connections, give others a blameless image of ourselves, and resist attempts at isolation. To talk about the fourth sign, defamation, Eisen invited one of his guests to speak and tell a story. In a region not far from here, the narrator began, there was a merchant who was highly respected by everyone. As a malicious rival, he began spreading unfounded rumors about his honesty, undermining his reputation and causing the town community to begin to despise him. Little by little, although the poor man had always been honest, people began to stop buying from him. This led to him having to close his store and move to another location. Defamation is a poison that corrodes our integrity, commented Eisen. Remember that those who want to destroy us will use their tongue as a sword, hurting us and our reputation with lies of all kinds. We must defend our reputation with truth and transparency, ensuring that anything they say to defame us does not resonate with people. The disciples, some crying, recalled in their memory the events in which someone had harmed them through their reputation, and they reflected on how, from now on, they could prevent this from happening thanks to the Master's words. The fifth sign Eisen spoke of was the sabotage of opportunities. Imagine a craftsman, he began, who every time he was about to achieve success, someone came to sabotage his work. Tools went missing, plans were ruined, materials were damaged. Essentially, despite his ability, this poor man was unable to progress. Sabotage is like a wind that extinguishes the flames of our success, Eisen said. Those who wish to destroy us will seek to harm our opportunities by creating obstacles and impediments. To prevent this from happening, we must remain vigilant and protect our path to success. We can achieve this by making sure we have people around us we can trust and by keeping our ideas safe without talking about them before they become reality. As the day progressed and the hot tea relaxed the disciples, who continued to listen with interest, Eisen addressed the sixth sign, the violation of privacy, telling a legend. In an ancient city, he said, there was a keeper of ancient secrets. Someone, envious of his enormous knowledge, tried to spy on his manuscripts with the aim of stealing the most hidden secrets. But the custodian, thanks also to a trusted collaborator, remained vigilant and protected his treasure. Remember that your privacy is sacred, Eisen stressed. Those who want to destroy us will try to invade our most intimate space, seeking information that can be used against us. We must firmly protect our private sphere, carefully selecting the people to whom we open the doors of our lives, so we can protect ourselves. As the fog descended, making the atmosphere surrounding the monastery even more enchanting, the master introduced the seventh sign, espionage. In a distant land, he narrated, there was a virtuous warrior. A rival, fearing his strength, sent spies to study his movements, but the warrior, with keen intuition, discovered the intrigues and repelled them. Espionage is like a shadow that tries to steal our mental clarity, Eisen warned. Those who wish to destroy us will use devious means to observe our every move. We must be aware of outside influences and protect our autonomy. The eighth signal that Eisen stopped was the one linked to physical attacks and threats. In a remote valley, he says, there was a devout monk who was trying to lead some young men who were dedicated to crime on the right path. A devious individual, whose shady interests were threatened by the monk's virtuous actions, attempted to physically destroy him by beating him so that fear would induce him to desist. Physical aggression is the extreme frontier of darkness, Eisen warned. Those who wish to destroy us may resort to threats and violence. When someone threatens us, We must protect ourselves by seeking help when necessary. At the end of the day and the stories he had told, Eisèn looked at his disciples with compassionate eyes. My children, life is an intricate dance, and other dancers can be our guides or our shadows. Observe and be aware of these signs, but don't live in constant fear. Cultivate a garden of trust and mutual respect around you. Surround yourself with trustworthy people and do not allow the shadows to destroy the light within you.